Hey world, it's Kate. I'm finally back outside because it's finally spring. So I've taken myself out to the Botanic Gardens today. To me, spring means fresh flowers all in bloom, but for some of my friends, it means sniffles and hay fever. And they blame one plant in Australia more than others, the golden wattle. So my question is this, does the wattle really make hay fever worse? The other name for hay fever is allergic rhinitis. It's basically an allergic reaction that happens inside your nose. And in order for it to happen, some pollen has to end up in your nose by travelling through on the wind. But here's the thing, when wattle's in bloom, it's not the only thing that's flowering and putting pollen in the air. Just because it's the most obvious doesn't mean it's the culprit. Turns out that wattle pollen is pretty heavy. It falls pretty much straight down underneath the wattle tree. Unlike another pretty common thing around this time of year, grass. A lot of the pollen that causes people's allergies is actually grass pollen. It's much finer, it floats around much more easily on the air, but it's not so obvious when grass is flowering, and so the poor wattle gets a big brunt of all of the blame. Plants like the wattle often use animals like bees and birds to transfer their pollen around. About 18 to 20% of Australians suffer from hay fever, and it's caused a lot of the time by northern hemisphere plants that we brought here because they're pretty or they're long lasting in the Australian weather. So it's worth having a look at the different plants in your garden if hay fever is something that you suffer from. So when it all comes down to it, no, the wattle's not going to make hay fever worse for most people, but you can pick plants that are less allergenic if it is something you are worried about. I'm going to go off and enjoy the flowers, so till next time, bye.